Offensive.
Now, don't last too long, because I haven't had breakfast. So. If it lasts too long, I might bite one of your fingers or something.
You're gonna be, you gonna need that brunch.
Had my boots already, so I'm good.
Yeah,
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call to order this meeting of the Sweetwater City Council. And we're going to ask Lisa Peterson with United Methodist Church to give the invocation, and Council Member McPherson will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mayor. Gracious Father and Lord, we praise your name for your presence with us, for the rest that you give us. As we enter this meeting in this day, may we hear you. May every decision that we make, every thought that we have, every word that we say, be for the building up of others, be for looking for the least of yours and lifting them up. Guide us, walk with us, and at day's end lead us home safely, that we might have peace-filled rest with you. And we give you all the glory. Amen.
Amen. Join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, now move on to item 4, which is to consider and act upon approval of the minutes for the meeting held on November 18th, 2025.
Motion.
Second.
The motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boyle, second by
John.
John. Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Next item calls for public input. Anyone is allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No council discussion or action may take place on the matter until such matter has been placed on the agenda and posted. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Move on to item 6A, which is discuss and consider and act upon authorizing funding for an incentive agreement between SEED MDD and Lone Star Learning Academy.
Good morning.
Morning.
So Lone Star Learning Academy is a nonprofit made up of community members that saw a need to fill childcare needs. It's many members of our community that have come together. The reason they formed a nonprofit is that it opens them up to more options for grants through the state of Texas, whether it be through the Texas Workforce Commission for Child Care and such. But anyhow, back in 2023, SEED approved a resolution that authorized about $750,000 in funding to try to fill the need of child care in Sweetwater and Nolan County, because we are very underserved as far as capacity goes. We have done one with Sweetwater ISD, and they have since closed that child care operation. Since then, we have structured this one a little different, whereas we gave money up front to Sweetwater ISD. They stayed open for a year and closed down. This one is more performance-based off of enrollment. So the amount approved yesterday at the MDD board meeting was $200,000 to Lone Star Learning Academy. It's a 3-year term, and they have to give us enrollment reports and operational reports. The operational report is due every year on February 1, and then the enrollment reports are due March, June, and November the first year, and then June and November thereafter. So they have the option to receive 3 incentive payments that first year, and then the option to receive 2, up to a $200,000 maximum, which would be an enrollment of 80 children. Are there any questions?
I just want to say a few things, if I could, and I think it's very generous what SEED has done with the amount of money. Full disclosure, I plan on abstaining from this vote because my daughter is a board member, and she's an employee at Ludlam's, and my wife is an advisory person to the board, and she's the CEO of Ludlam's. But they're involved at a pretty high level, and there's a bunch of other people in town as well, very respected members of the community. But it's come to my attention that in my opinion, in their opinion, the incentive, the numbers are great, but I think that the problem they're going to have is it's a new business, and I think they would like to get that $200,000 and get $150,000 starting next year, and then 50 in 2027, because looking at the numbers and the generous incentive, the way unless they fill up with kids, it's probably not going to make it. And going back to when SEED helped the school district, well, the school district in effect put other daycares out of business. Mm-hmm. And then we had a change of the guard, and then if you're I don't know if it affected you directly, Misha, with your kids, but a lot of people had no daycare in a matter of weeks with no warning. And it's a huge problem. And, these folks are working really hard. But if I had a vote, I would just say the money's great. Let's work on how it could be distributed, because I don't think it's going to cash flow unless they just fill up with kids. But I really don't anticipate that happening based on what happened at the school district. It's probably going to take 6 months to 12 months for it to get on its feet.
I will say I know members from the public will be hesitant in trusting any new just because of what happened. And it put a lot of people in binds when the child care center at SISD shut down, teachers included.
My former business, one lady had to start working from home. She had a newborn and no daycare that quick.
There, with this nonprofit, the board of directors, they've already created a business plan and how they're gonna market this and fill their classrooms.
Yes, they've tried to do some outside fundraising. I know they've gone to Rotary Club. Rotary was generous enough to give them some. They've started doing a T-shirt fundraiser.
There's 17,000 so far. That's
yes, and members from the board have put in their own personal funds. There's 3 families in that board that have been generous enough to raise quite a bit of money amongst themselves and put forth. It is a struggle. I know SEED, the reason we have worded it this way is to safeguard ourselves from, we're working with public funds. We do have to be very cautious of how we just give money, especially it's Sweetwater ISD's, negative impacts that the way we've worded it, we've had to. But I'm open to council's recommendation and taking it. If we go ahead and authorize funds today, we wouldn't have to bring it back necessarily if y'all are willing to ask our board to amend the way the payments are made. But it would just be council's recommendation of how y'all want to handle anything.
And this Lone Star Learning Academy, it would start what, immediately or next year? Or
So their goal is to have a director hired by January 1, have open operations by March 1. They are going to be located in Emmanuel Fellowship over there on Haley Street. It's a church. They are going to be leasing. The church is cutting them a great rate on a lease. It's kind of based off of how many kids are enrolled at the Learning Center.
Isn't it a square footage?
I believe it's 4,000-ish
Yeah.
that they're using. They're going to be doing a new playground area and stuff, as you have to for this age group of kids you're serving. I know they do have a business plan. They eventually want to offer after-school care, which is where a lot of daycares make their money. There's so many state restrictions on how many kids can be in a room when you're an infant. And even the stated restrictions are high. I think it's 6, and a lot of daycares like to do 4 to 1. if you're under a year old. And so it is very hard to make a daycare cash flow when you have under school age kids, which is what we need in Sweetwater, because once they hit 4 years old, they can start pre-K, and if they qualify, they can do Head Start or Pre-K 3 is another option. But once those are full at Sweetwater ISD, they don't have an option. This specific child care center will be trying to qualify as many kids as they can for CCS, which is the subsidy through the state. But even that has a waiting list. That's what happened to Sweetwater ISD. They thought they were going to be getting quite a bit more money from CCS, and again, it's just waiting list from the state to allocate those funds. So
Is there a plan of the grants that they're already looking into? Do they have a grant writer?
there are quite a few, but the way the grants run with childcare is they open, like right now, you would be applying for what you would receive in 2026. So they can't get immediate grants. There's just specific windows that open, and then you apply for the next year. So they've already missed that 2025 cycle. They could apply in 2026 and receive in 2027 from the state. But they've kind of missed that window to receive in 2025 from the state. But a lot of those are just based off of to help with materials or to help with furniture, which Sweetwater ISD did keep quite a bit of furniture that they say that was purchased with seed funds. It's roughly $40,000 to $50,000 worth of furniture that they are being able to take from Sweetwater ISD. There's some curriculum that they're going to be able to use that was kind of said that our funds used to pay with. But I agree with John. It is going to be a struggle up front for them. But again, our board, this is kind of how they asked to run it kind of like an FTE. So it's more performance based instead of, but I'm open to suggestions. Y'all tell me what to do. And
Well, does the council have the authority to restructure the agreement that the seed board has
You
voted
don't.
on? I mean, are our options,
you can ask me to go back to seed board with recommendations on how to structure it, and we can give them, y'all have all authority. But my recommendation would be to authorize funding and ask the seed board to reconsider the way the payments are structured. That way, at our January meeting, if we were to consider doing that, we could just do an amended and restated agreement, and it wouldn't have to come back to council for
and y'all
approval.
can restructure these at any point in time?
Yes.
Okay.
It is important to note, though, that if the council's recommendations are taken back to seed and the seed board does not agree to the recommended structure, the council does not have the authority to bind
Correct.
them or to force them to enter into an agreement.
Well, my understanding is the numbers are great, it's just the way it needs to be divvied out. So, the structure.
Is, excuse me, is staffing a problem with daycares? Getting
Yes.
enough staff?
I will be honest, I know that they intend to hire a director January 1, but I don't believe there have been many applications submitted. And then once the director is hired, the director is in charge of hiring staff to fill the rooms.
I
So
just
I-
wonder how hard it is to fill the
Oh, it's hard.
positions.
The director may make $55,000 a year, but other than that, the actual provider, the ones that are in the rooms taking care of the children, they might make between 18 and 24 a year, and that's a state average. I can't recall what this specific one intends to pay, but it's somewhere in that range. It's the 18 to 24,000. I think it landed somewhere around 22 or so.
I think the payroll's 400,000 a year.
Yep, about that.
Just doing some math off the top of my head. But it's a huge need. I mean, it's a crisis. I mean, I don't have kids at home, but
You're about to have a
we
grandbaby.
have a local grandbaby. So,
Okay, we've got a motion before the council. It would appear that our options are to approve the funding as is, or approve the funding with recommendations to Misha, or to not approve the funding.
I make a motion we approve the funding with recommendations for
Okay.
maybe a little restructure.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstained.
And we have one abstention. Okay, so the motion carries. Now move on to item 6B, which is to discuss, consider, and act upon voting for members of the Nolan County Central Appraisal District Board of Directors. We went through this process at our last meeting, and after struggling with the math, we allocated our votes as 60 votes to 4 members and 82 votes to Mr. Mark Reeves. One of those members we did vote for has withdrawn, and so we either need to redo the whole process or reallocate those 60 votes we cast for Mr. Cleveland. And to save the council trouble, I did some math. We can allocate 15 votes to each of the 4 remaining members, or give all 60 votes to a single individual, either one that we've already voted for or another member who received no votes.
I say we just do the 15 to ones, take them from Claiborne and distribute them.
Okay, and so that would mean that Mr. Reeves gets 97 votes, and the remaining members get 75 votes.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All those in
Dr.
favor? Yes,
Could you
ma'am.
clarify who you want to, just for the record, who you want to
Okay,
give
okay,
the?
yeah, for the ones we voted for last time, which would be Mr. Castillo, Mr. Cumby, and Mr. Cannell, or excuse me, Ms. Cannell. And then 82 for Mark Reeves. Got that? Okay. Who seconded that motion? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And so those votes are cast. Next item, 6C, which is discuss, consider, and act upon authorizing funding from SEED MDD for demolition and remediation of the structure located at 110, 112 West Broadway Street and 114 East.
So many of you will remember this structure. It's the one that was falling into the alley, and the Cherries came up and expressed their concern. So yesterday, at the time whenever I did this memo, we didn't know the amount that the board would approve. City recommended going with Red River, Red River Remediation. I couldn't remember the last part of the. They received 2 quotes from Mr. Coe and Red River Remediation, and Red River Remediation came in at the best bid, I guess you could say. There was quite a bit of a discussion around when we approved the 300,000 about how we've been funding quite a few of these, and SEED normally funds the ones that require asbestos abatements, which are pretty expensive. So I gave y'all a handout that kind of surrounded our discussion during this item yesterday, that we would like to put y'all on alert that we're going to start working on. We would like to start, or ask the city, to, in good faith, start trying to pursue judgments on quite a few of these. The commercial, per tax code 34.05, the commercial redemption period is quite a bit shorter, 180 days, as opposed to residential homestead redemption periods, which are a few years, I believe. So as we continue to reimburse the city for demolition costs, and the city kind of takes that that responsibility to demolish, we would like the city to start pursuing demolition liens in good faith, and after the property goes to tax foreclosure and on the courthouse, the sheriff's sale, we would like to explore an interlocal agreement with the various taxing jurisdictions to where somehow these could be used as an incentive for a nominal amount. We purchase them from the city, but an incentive for redevelopment and such. We have the burnt structure over here that I know is still in the owner's name. That was demolished back in 2023. The Lamar Street structure would be a great redevelopment and incentive for the bowling alley. Incentive for any business that would be coming into town, and this one is another one that if we could find a developer or investor that would like to come and build a new structure downtown, it would be nice to be able to give them the lot as part of an incentive agreement. So there was a lot of discussion centered around this. We're working with Jeff Allen to figure out how to best do that, and we'll bring something back to y'all.
Okay, we have a motion before the council to approve the funding for demolition at 110, 112, and 114 West Broadway.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion is approved. City manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Sweetwater has been recognized by the Government Finance Officers Association, earning our 46th consecutive Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. This award is the highest honor in governmental accounting and financial reporting, and it reflects clarity, transparency, and quality of our annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2024. An impartial national panel reviewed our report and determined that it effectively communicates the city's financial story and encourages public engagement. This achievement highlights the strong work and professionalism of our finance team. A very special congratulations to Kirsten and her finance team. That's all we got.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now call for a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Boyle, second by Councilmember Castro. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. And the meeting is adjourned at 9:22.